This is a lecture from Open Tuition. To benefit from the lecture, you should download the free lecture notes from opentuition.com.
We're now going to go through and think about bulk discounts and try and determine whether or not it is advantageous from a cost perspective to buy goods in bulk, to get the goods purchased at a cheaper cost per unit, and whether or not that cheaper cost per unit that we are now paying is cheap enough to offset any additional other costs such as holding costs or ordering costs that may therefore be incurred. So what we have to go through and do is we have to go through there, and to see whether or not it is advantageous to take account of the bulk discount, we need to first of all work out the total annual cost based upon your economic order quantity. So trying to optimize the order based upon our holding costs and ordering costs and neglecting any bulk discount. How much does that cost us overall per annum? Then what we go through and do there is we work out the same total annual cost if the discounts were to be accepted. So i.e. if we bought more goods than the economic order quantity, and by buying more goods each order we get a reduction in the cost per unit of the goods, and whether or not that is therefore then beneficial. So it's important first of all to work things out using your economic order quantity and that total cost, and then using the information given in the question, i.e. how many units do you need to buy on each order to get that bulk discount, and then using those figures to work out the total annual cost. So let's pull that together with example number 2. They're looking at bulk discounts, and it wants us to look at what reorder quantity would minimize the total cost. Now normally your economic order quantity minimizes your total cost, doesn't it? But don't forget, now we're considering bulk discounts, don't we? So we need to factor that into our analysis. So let's ignore bulk discounts for now. Let's think about the economic order quantity, because what you've got there is you've got your annual demand is there as 120,000 units, isn't it? Your order costs are those $30 per order. Holding costs are $20 per unit per annum. And then your material can normally purchase for $10 per unit. So that's your normal cost per unit, which will help us work out our purchase cost based upon whatever our economic order quantity is for our 120,000 units, isn't it? Okay. We'll come to the bulk discounts after. So what I'd like you to go through and do, remember, we need to go through there, don't we, and work out our economic order quantity. Our economic order quantity, remember, is the square root of 2 cod over chips. Okay, I would like you to go through and work out that figure. Stop the video, restart it when you're done, and then see if you've got the correct answer. Okay, excellent. Did you stop the video? Okay, hopefully you went through and stopped it. If not, criminal. But it's your choice. We need to go through there and work out the economic order quantity, isn't it? So you've got there the square root of 2 multiplied by the order cost, which was 30, times by 120,000, which was the annual demand, and the holding cost was there, was it, as 20. I have written in my notes that that works out, is it, as 600. So if you got 600, well done. That's assuming that everything is right. So 2 times 30 times 120,000 divided by 20. If I take the square root of that, that's brilliant. Okay, that works out as 600 units. So to minimize my cost, the economic order quantity is there as 600 units. Remember, what we need to go through and do there is we need to work out now, is it the total cost, isn't it? Okay, so remember your total cost is going to be equal to your ordering cost plus your holding cost plus your purchase cost. Now remember, those figures there, we're going to work it out based upon our economic order quantity. So is that there at 600 units. And remember, those figures that you have there, your annual ordering cost is your ordering cost multiplied by the demand over the quantity. So is that the CO multiplied by the demand over the quantity. The holding cost was that CH multiplied by the quantity over 2, wasn't it? Okay, so yeah, going back to where we were before. And then what you've got there, your purchase cost is going through there and taking your cost per unit to purchase multiplied by the number of units that you are going to purchase in the year. So here my ordering cost is that there as $30. The annual demand is 120,000. And my quantity, remember, is 600, isn't it? Okay. My holding costs, I think were there, was it as 20. The quantity is 600, so you can work out your total cost for the year and just divide it there by 2, can't we? And then the purchase cost, the cost was there, was it as $10 per unit, and I think it was 120,000 units, wasn't it? Okay. So I think you end up, is it with 6,000 plus 6,000 plus, is it the 1.2 million? So your total cost is $1,212,000 per annum. Okay. Hopefully you'd be able to do that yourself. Okay. Remember, that is based upon your economic order quantity, which was there, was it, as 600, wasn't it? Okay. Now, what we need to go through and do there is, if we go back to the question, we now need to think about comparing that total cost under your economic order quantity of $1,212,000 and see if we take account of any bulk discounts, whether or not things get a little bit cheaper. Okay. So what you've got there, if you read the question, you know, the material can normally be purchased for $10 per unit. Well, if we buy 1,000 units, that costs 9,800, doesn't it? Well, if you do, is it 9,800 divided by 1,000 to work out the cost per unit? What does that give you? $9.80. Okay, so the cost per unit is $9.80. So if you buy in a batch of 1,000 units, you get a discount from $10 down to $9.80. If you were to buy 5,000 units, they can be bought for $47,500. So 47,500 divided by 5,000. Does that go through there and give me $9.50? So if I buy even more, then I get a bigger discount. But don't forget that by buying more, that's going to have an impact there, isn't it, on your holding costs? Okay, because you're going to have more goods that have been purchased that need to be held for longer. Okay, so you need to balance that up. So what we're going to go through and do is we've worked out the total cost based on order, holding and purchase cost at our economic order quantity. What we're going to go through and do now is we're going to go through there and repeat that exercise for your total cost. I'm going to look at that total cost at 1,000 units. So ignoring the economic order quantity, looking at your total cost there to see whether or not it is any cheaper. So if we think about your ordering costs, that's $30 per order. We still have your annual demand of 120,000, but don't forget now that instead of making each order based upon your economic order quantity, we're now going to base it on the 1,000, aren't we? Okay. We've then got your holding costs. So your holding costs were $20. We have, is it 1,000 as the quantity, and the average we divide by 2. And then the trick now here, don't forget that when you're looking at your purchase cost now, you're still buying 120,000 of the goods, but they are now at $9.80, because that is taking account of that bulk purchase discount. So when you tap that into your calculator, your ordering costs go to 3,600. So you would expect your ordering cost to fall, wouldn't you? Because by buying more goods per order, you're going to have less orders to make. However, your holding costs go up to 10,000, but your purchase cost decreases to 1,176,000. If you add that up, I think that gives you, is it $1,189,600. Compared to previously, we had there, wasn't it, $1,212,000. So it is cheaper, isn't it, to buy goods in batches of 1,000, because that reduction in the cost per unit down to $9.80 also goes through and offsets the increase in the holding cost. Okay, the holding cost, it is now 10,000, when previously that holding cost was 6,000. And what's also happened as well is that the order cost was 6,000, and by buying more goods per order, that bulk discount has led us to buy more goods, which reduces the ordering cost as well. Okay, so there's been significant reductions in the ordering and the purchase cost that offset that holding cost. Now, what I would like you to go through and do there to finish things off, to give you a little bit of practice, you need to look at your total cost. Is it there at 5,000 units? Okay, have a go, work it through. What you should find is that you end up, I think, is it with 1,190,720. Okay, remember, don't forget there that when you buy 5,000 of goods per order, your purchase cost drops down to $9.50. But what happens there is that even though you're buying even more goods and getting another reduction in your cost per unit of goods purchased, you should find there that not only is the 1,189,600 cheaper than your economic order quantity, it is also therefore the cheapest. Okay, so therefore what we should go through and do to answer the question, what reorder quantity would minimize the total cost? That's there as 1,000 units. Okay, I'm going to leave you there to go through there and work out your total cost at 1,190,720. If you get stuck, feel free to have a look at the answer at the back within the notes, and if you're still stuck, then feel free to drop me a question on the forum. Other than that, that's it for now in terms of your inventory management.